Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Ryan Dosa podcast. Today, we have the pleasure of being joined by Joshua Greaves. Josh has played American football for over 16 years. He has a BA in economics from Occidental and an MSc in international business from the University of Nottingham. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Josh Greaves. Josh, how are you doing today?
I'm good, man. How are you? Good to see you.
Great, man. Yeah, like I said, it's a pleasure to talk to you. Where are you right now? Are you at home?
Yeah, man, back home in Granada Hills, back in the 818. So it's good to be home. Been back since mid-October. I got back from Denmark, so feels good. Feels good to be home.
Oh, wow. Awesome, man. It's cool. Yeah, I'm sure you favor the weather here a little bit more.
Yeah, just a little bit. I was on the phone with some of my friends back there, and it's raining and it's close to freezing. So it's nice to be here in nice sunny California.
Sweet. Awesome, man. We'll just jump into it. Does that sound good?
Yeah, man, let's do it.
All right, question one. So talk a little bit about your football career. You've played, it's so rare to have to dedicate yourself to something for so long. I mean, you kind of learn that thing kind of probably like the back of your hand. So, like what have you learned from football, like kind of like on a grander scale that you apply to other areas of life, like things that you learned from football that you apply to business? And then from there, what's next in your life?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, football has been there since I started my life. My dad was a coach, for 30 years up until he passed away. So, just every day being out on a football field, really cemented in me those values of leadership, of hard work, of togetherness, and all that stuff. So, I mean, football's so applicable to everything in life, man. Like, you have to work as a team. You have to go through ups and downs and stuff like that. You can't get too high, can't get too low. But at the end of the day, like the reward is special. Whether you win or lose, at the end of the day, like you can say you went through those battles and those struggles with those people, and that's life, you know. So it's definitely applicable. Like I said, in terms of business, when I was in Denmark, I was coaching. I was also doing private training. So just learning how to you do time management. I mean, football, you learn time management, right? When we were at Crespi, we had our, what was it, 6:15 a.m.s, and then we had, film and we had practice. You had to learn how to, dedicate a certain amount of time to school, to social life, and to football. And so those values just get instilled in you from a young age to where now it's like you said, you just know it like the back of your hand. It's easier, and I've learned that through what I've been doing with work. Right now I'm working at Enterprise Rent a Car. I'm in a management trainee program. So hopefully within the next 5 to 6 months, I'll get promoted to a manager. And from there, you just keep growing, you keep becoming higher up and higher up there through promotions. So I've just learned, being on time, right? Make sure we're always early, and just learning how to, you know, manage people, how to talk to customers in a respectful way, and just learning the back end with all like the costs and all that as well. And I learned that through school, and I also learned that through football.
Awesome, cool. And then before we get to the next part, so you're working for Enterprise. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, man. So I work in Northridge, so super nice, close to home. But I wanted to do something where I knew I could use my. So I got a master's in international business from Nottingham, and I got my economics degree from Oxy. So I wanted to do something in the business world, but I didn't know what. And so this management trainee program kind of jumped out to me. And I've talked to a lot of my friends' dads who are like higher ups at different companies, and they say that they value that enterprise manager, like because they teach you how to be a manager so well at enterprise. And I think I'm in enterprise for the long run for sure, but it's good to get that management experience. I mean, I'll be, 27 running my own store, and like that's something that's valuable, something you learn how to not only manage costs, like I said, but you manage people and you learn how to, galvanize groups of people to make sure that you're all under one common goal. And so, and going back to football, that's something that you have to do, right? You have to make sure you galvanize for one common purpose. And so I think that I'm doing well. I'm doing well. I'm enjoying it. Just started about 6 weeks ago, and hopefully I can keep it going.
Nice, man. That's exactly the answer I was looking for, right? It's like football. It's exactly that. You're getting together all these, and man, we know this is more than I think any football knows. Like different personalities, you know.
Yes.
Um, some people you got to get them all together. It's like, hey, we're going that way, not that way. So yeah, that's really cool, and I'm glad to hear that. Um, switching gears to something a little bit different. So I wasn't going to have you on here without obviously asking you about Armenia Azerbaijan war. This is something that has been going on for almost like over 100 years, right at this point.
Mhm.
And it's recently the last few years has been pretty detrimental. So talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, first of all, I appreciate you bringing it up because it is something that's very important. It's something that a lot of people don't know about. Us in LA are very fortunate to have a lot of Armenians in the community, but outside of LA, there's not many. I mean, I would go to England, Denmark. They said I was the first Armenian they ever met. You know, in college at Oxy, 60% of the students are from out of state. They said they didn't even know where Armenia was or that it was even a place. And so having a platform is important to talk about these things. So I appreciate it. I just want to say that first. But yeah, it is. I mean, it is sad. So obviously, in 2020 during COVID, Azerbaijan attacked Artsakh, or as the world kind of knows as Nagorno Karabakh. So yeah, they attacked us there, and so that's been kind of ongoing. It was a war for about 2 months, and then we signed a treaty, which unfortunately resulted in a lot of our land getting taken by Azerbaijan. A lot of our historic land that we've had for thousands of years just gone like that. It's almost as if we lost, you know, if America lost like all of Arizona, like in the blink of an eye, you know? And so it's tough because there's 150,000 Armenians living there. So 100% Armenian. It's been part of our culture for generations upon generations. So that was tough. And, you know, you think it's the end, but never is. And then about 2 months ago, I believe, they cut off the Lachin corridor, which is the one highway that connects Armenia to Stepanakert, which is the capital of Artsakh. And they cut it off, the Azerbaijanis. So that's been really hard. There's videos and pictures, and you know, people suffering. People can't get food. The grocery stores are empty. People can't get insulin. It's hard. It's hard because it's the winter. You know, it's the winter time right now, so it's cold there. It's up in the mountains, so it's difficult, man. But you know, one thing I will say is like the Armenian people have always been together. I mean, it doesn't matter where you're from. Like my family's originally from Iran. You know, there's Armenians
I
from
didn't know
Lebanon.
that.
Yeah,
Interesting. Huh. Okay.
my family was actually brought in by Shah Abbas in 1602 from Nachivan, which is modern day Azerbaijan, used to be Armenia. Brought in 400 years ago to this area called Isfahan, which is like the cultural capital of Iran. Um, and yeah, they were brought in area called New Julfa, and my family's lived in Iran for 400 years. Um, and then my mom moved out in 76, and the rest is history. But yeah, my family's from there. I'm actually reading a book right now about Armenians in Iran, about how like Armenians have been able to live in an Islamic republic for so long. So it's been really interesting. But yeah, I mean, I could, like I said, I could talk about all this in so much depth. I don't know how much you want me to get into it, but obviously something I'm passionate about. You can see the flag there. So
Yeah, yeah, man, it's it's a very deep subject, and I know that you know a lot. That's why, I have seen it coming out, more, I think, your brother and yourself are kind of incorporating your Armenian names into kind of your Instagram handles. You're kind of, expressing that a little more, which is really cool. And yeah, I didn't know you were from Iran, man. Interesting. You said your family lived in Iran for 400 years or Armenia?
Iran.
Oh, cool.
Iran. My mom lived in Armenia for 4 years after. So from 1976 to 1980, she lived in Armenia when it was part of the Soviet Union. So my mom lived in the Soviet Union for 4 years, and then she moved to America in 81 um, when she was 17.
Okay, fascinating.
Mhm.
Interesting. What part of Iran?
Tehran, the capital.
Capital. Okay, interesting. Interesting. Um, yeah, yeah, man, I mean, overall, it's really cool to hear you talk about it face to face. I've seen like your Instagram posts throughout the years, and yeah, like it just doesn't seem optimal. It's like I looked it up. Azerbaijan spent like $53.6 billion on the war.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, I think it's a matter of changing minds more than it is like I was reading. I have this here called Behave. It's by Dr. Robert Sapolsky. He's a neuroscience professor at Stanford, and he's basically talking about the Rwandan genocide in the '90s. They fuck man, they killed millions of people, just died, and it was a it was a cause of just bad ideas. People were influenced by the wrong thing, just like the Nazis, World War II. Just ideas are very
Hmm.
contagious, and people get influenced. And so, if we can educate people on kind of what's going on and how um, propaganda works and all that. There's a lot of neuroscience. It's something to do with the brain. There's a part of the brain. It's called the insula, and they link that seems to be very correlated with. It's like, hey, if you're like a dictator, you want to start something like that, you need to engage the insula, which is like the part of the brain responsible for like self and other. It's like you see the other person as disgusting, or like less than you, and so you want to like eradicate them. And so yeah, hopefully we'll have a cure for this, a solution in like 30 years. And you
That
know
would be cool. I mean, it's sad, man, because yeah, Azerbaijan has a dictator. He's been in place since 2003. Turkey has a dictator. He's been in place the same amount of time. And it's not just with Armenia. I mean, Turkey's been doing this to Libya. They've been doing this to the Greeks. They've done this to Assyrians, which no one talks about Assyrians because they don't have their own country. During our genocide, one third of the Assyrian population actually got killed. And now they're just scattered around Syria and Iraq and parts of Iran. They did this to Kurds. They've done this to all sorts of groups of people. But Turkey is the most strategically placed country in the world. It's the crossroads between Europe and Asia. It's on the Mediterranean and has a choke point with the Black Sea. So it has all these like it's geographically perfect. It used to be where Constantinople was, which is Istanbul now. And so the West needs Turkey. They don't need Armenia because we're just a landlocked Christian nation with no natural resources that only has 3 million people. Turkey has 80 million, Azerbaijan has 10 million. And now Azerbaijan is even more important because of Russia. Europe gets most of their gas from Russia. That's where they get most of their gas from. Now, because of everything that's happened, they're trying to find alternative routes. Well, Azerbaijan has a lot. So now they're getting it all from Azerbaijan. So now the West needs Azerbaijan more than ever, which turns a blind eye even more towards Armenia. So it's all politics. It's all politics. It's sad. It's very sad. But at the end of the day, like if you're a Western country or a Western leader, like other than France, no one's really helping us. Like no one cares. It's really sad. It's very, very sad.
yeah. Yeah, it's unfortunate. Just like you said, at the end of the day, like I hate that it's true, unfortunately. I hate this, like, oh, it's business. At the end of the day, it's business.
Mhm.
Like it's politics. So um, but yes. So anyways, switching gears a little bit. What was one of your favorite things about Oxy?
One of my favorite things about Oxy, the football house, definitely. OMA, that was my favorite part about Oxy. Um, Oxy was an interesting place for sure. I had amazing friendships, amazing memories, but that football house was like the best part about it. It was a place where us football guys could come together, enjoy each other's company, be able to have fun, throw parties, and just like have a spot where we could all, enjoy. Not to say that, there wasn't other parts of Oxy that were we could do that, but I don't know. It just had so much history. It was there for 100 years. You see the pictures on the walls of guys that had played there in the 1920s, 30s, 40s, etc. So that was really, really cool to be a part of that and be a part of that culture and just knowing like the types of people who used to live in that house, like Jim Mora. The guy was like, playoffs, you kidding me? Playoffs, like the Colts coach. Bill Riddell, who used to coach at Crespi and Oaks Christian, like famous guys like that. So yeah, it was that part was definitely special for me. And I had good memories, good friendships, good brothers there that I still hang out with and talk to this day.
Yeah, awesome. You finished it such a wealth of culture, and obviously it didn't kind of go the way all of us kind of foresaw, but you finish that with a bang, So, do you have a funny story that you can tell us from your time in Europe?
In Europe, that's a good question. A funny story, man. There was a lot, man. I don't know. I mean, it was just being an American in Europe, I guess. I don't know. Like, so I was in so just so people know, I was in Nottingham, England, which is about 2 hours north of London. I was there for about 15 months while I was getting my master's and playing football, and then I moved to Copenhagen for 6 months. And I don't know, just like people coming up to me and just mocking my American accent or making fun of me for like being like having guns or like what is your opinion on this or what's your opinion on that? Like it never failed. Every single time they'll be like, "Oh, you're American?" I'm like, "Yeah." It's like, "How many people have you seen been shot?" And I'm like, "Okay, people, like let's like have a little more respect." But yeah, that doesn't really answer your question. I guess I don't know. I don't really have like a particular story. I'm not gonna lie. I need to think about it, bro.
It's okay.
Yeah, man. I don't know. Sorry. I can't think of anything right now.
Any conflicts between you and the Brits?
The Brits.
Yeah.
Um, I wouldn't say any
The
conflict.
basketball thing, where
What basketball thing?
he was like something he's like I want to play basketball, or like
Hmm.
there was like an and one.
Dude, am I losing my memory? Dude, I can't remember.
You
I'm
were
sorry.
playing, it was Nottingham. You were playing pickup basketball, and one of them said something really funny, like someone fouled someone, and like they were like you impersonate, you filmed it on Snapchat. You're like and that's an and one or something like
Oh no. Okay, I remember
yeah.
now. And yeah, it was like they I fouled them, I think, and or I didn't foul them. And they said you fouled me, mate, you fouled me. And I was like, all right, bro, shoot for it. I was like, shoot for it, bro. And I'm like, ball don't lie. He's like, of course the ball doesn't lie. It doesn't talk. It's a ball. It's a ball. Like, of course it doesn't lie. I'm like, no, like you shoot for it. If you make it, then it'll be a foul. Like it just it just kept going in circles, man.
Oh
So
my
yeah,
gosh.
playing basketball out there was interesting because like the rules are different, like the way you play is different. So you stick your hand out, they call foul. I'm like, no, man, like a little bit of leeway. We're a little more physical back home, but yeah, playing basketball is actually like the way I met a lot of my friends. Like I
Mm.
would go to random pickup games, which there's not many, but you'd go to them and then I met a lot of some of my best friends I met from just playing basketball during COVID because there's nothing else to do. So
Mm.
those are some fun days, man, because they always like, dude, I'm not like I'm okay at basketball. Like I'm a good player, but I didn't play college or anything. And they thought, they're playing, you know, Kobe Bryant out there. They hear an American accent, they want to guard me, they score on me, they start filming like, oh, we score on the American, but you know what I mean? So that was fun. It was fun. It was all good.
Oh my gosh, man. That was so funny. And then yeah, I mean without going into too much detail, I know the party scenes would get kind of rowdy. Um
Yeah, man, for sure. I mean, it was a good time, like I said. Like during COVID, we had to throw our own like parties at like my house. It was like me and like five other Americans that lived there. So it was kind of like all of us close friends from all our different teams. We all like partied together during COVID, and then Wednesday night there was this thing called Crisis. It was at this venue called Rock City, which is the biggest venue in the UK. And every Wednesday night, man, you had like 2,500 athletes there partying, until 4 a.m. And it was a good time, man. Like it was a lot of fun. Like the Brits know how to have a good time. We'd have like socials beforehand. They'd get all dressed up. Every time you go there, and they're like funky costumes, but they have a good time. And then in Denmark, going out to the clubs there was really, really fun. Really, really fun. Those are a little more higher end, but yeah, partying was a good time.
Also, man, yeah, I know there was a little rivalry kind of between Americans and Brits, and yeah, you guys yeah, you don't like each other too much,
Yeah, no, it was. I mean, like it was all fun. Like it was all fun. Like when so I was there when England was in the Euro finals. So like it was like the furthest they had gone in any sort of soccer cup since like 1966. So the final was England versus Italy. We were watching at a pub. There's like 400 people there. They put on a big screen outside, and me and my boy from the Bronx were rooting for Italy. And bro, like I was trying to be quiet, but I feel like when Italy won, they wanted to like jump us. Like they didn't, nothing happened, but they took it seriously, man. Like soccer's life. Like it was life.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
it's crazy culture. I love it though. Like I said, I have some amazing memories, some amazing friendships from there. Like stuff that'll like I don't know. It was the best. It was the best like 2 years of my life being out in Europe. So
Did
can't
you
complain.
ever make it to the cathedral?
The cathedral, like what cathedral?
The Michelangelo painting on the ceiling,
Yeah, man. The Sistine Chapel.
Sistine Chapel, yeah.
Yeah, I've been there. I went there in Rome. It was amazing,
Wow.
beautiful.
Did you
Yeah,
see you saw the David statue?
yeah, yeah.
All of it. Wow.
Yeah, I went when I was there. I got to travel a lot, so it's easy, man. Once you get to Europe, it's a quick flight to different places, super cheap. Ryanair, EasyJet, Wizz Air, all those super easy, super quick. So yeah, I got to see a lot of places. Place I never thought I'd be able to see.
Wow. Yeah, what'd you think of those two particular, like the David and the Michelangelo painting?
Yeah, I think the Sistine Chapel was like unbelievable because it's a whole ceiling. It's a whole ceiling, just like the fact that he had to do it like upside down, kind of. I mean, you're looking up while doing it. Um, it was unbelievable, man. And it's not just it's not like the size of your room or my room. I mean, it's massive. Took years to complete. So I don't know, man. Like when you're in the presence of something like that, just like the Colosseum or some other major thing, you're like, wow. Like not only is this beautiful, think about the history that was here. Think about the people who were in this that walked the same roads as I did 2,000 years ago. Like that's the type of stuff I think about. And that's why, like for me, so this might get into a different topic, but like my biggest thing is I want to learn about everyone's cultures. I want to learn about like where people come from, why they think the way they think, and like what influenced that. And so, I was in Budapest. I'll never forget. I was in Budapest, Hungary. I was there for 3 days on vacation. Are you Hungarian?
I'm Hungarian, yeah. My dad's,
Really?
yeah. My
Wow, I didn't know
grandparents
that.
immigrated. Yeah, they immigrated here from Hungary in the 50s to escape the revolution. My dad was born literally like the day they landed in New York, Rochester. My dad was born.
No way.
They escaped it. They had to like cross a bunch of fields. They came here with like $20. They like just snuck across a bunch of fields and yeah,
Dude, that's crazy. I didn't know that.
yeah,
Wow. You should go then. You should really go
yeah.
because I mean, the culture there is unbelievable. Like not many people, I guess, from America think to go there. They think of like what London, Barcelona, Rome, Paris. That's what they think. But I was there, man, and like I want to learn about different cultures and the history. So I was in the Budapest National Museum for like 3 hours,
Mm,
just trying to take in the history, like learn about the different wars and the Huns and learn about the Ottoman Empire when they came in and all this different stuff that we didn't learn in America growing up. And so it's actually ironic because then I get customers at Enterprise and they'll be like, "Oh, I'm Hungarian." I'm like, "Oh my gosh!" Like, boom, 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 start talking about the history. Like, how do you know that? Um, and so that for me is like really cool. And then because they trust you, because they say, oh, this guy's like educated, then they start teaching you more about it. And then that's when you really start to learn because it's about those personal accounts. When you hear it from a person, you hear it from their perspective. Just like this book I'm reading about Armenians in Iran. I'm reading this book and it's all stuff that I've heard from my mom and my grandparents. It's the same stuff. It's just a little bit more detailed and in depth. But yeah, I don't know. I was just sitting in a museum in Budapest for 3 hours, just learning. And there's no other place I wanted to be at that time.
wow. Right, yeah, that's really cool that you do that. You have that quote, those that do not study history are bound to repeat it. So, I'm grateful that we have people like you that are doing that. It's really easy to just scroll TikTok all day and so um What was I gonna? Oh, okay, yeah, that's really cool. What tips do you have for up and coming football players? You know, say like, there's some 6-year-old right now that's getting into football, some 8-year-old that's strapping up the pads for the first time, navigating the whole, where should I go to play for middle school, high school, college? What would you say to that family, those parents and that kid?
It's a good question, Ryan. That's a really good question. I think I would say the same thing I told the Danish kids that I coached. I was coaching kids between the ages of like 12 and 17 when I was in Denmark. But I'll say like enjoy it. Like if you don't enjoy it, like don't pursue it. Like do something that you love. If you truly love this thing, then okay, let's get down to it. Like I'm gonna make you a better player. I'm gonna make you a better athlete for sure, but just like go somewhere where you're gonna have fun, enjoy, and be around good people. Because at the end of the day, you're not gonna remember like all those wins and losses. You're not gonna remember that catch you had. You're not gonna remember, you know, I don't know, throwing an interception. Like, yeah, those things might pop up, but the stuff you really remember are those times in the locker room you have with the guys, the times you go out with them, the brotherhood, the friendships. That's the stuff you remember. And so go somewhere where you're enjoying yourself with the people around you. Because at the end of the day, like it's sports. Like it's not that deep. Like I love football. I played my whole life. I was so happy when I won that championship. But at the end of the day, man, it's about the people you surround yourself with. If you're surrounded by people that you don't enjoy, then don't play. That's this the thing that I would have to say. Like go somewhere where you're valued and go somewhere where you truly enjoy playing. Um, that's I guess my biggest advice.
Mm, well said. And in terms of the whole, so going along with that, right? Going where kind of following your people, how do you think about the whole transferring thing? What if so these parents enroll a kid in a program or a school and they think it's a good fit, it turns out not to be a good fit. Are you in favor of, transferring? How do you think about transferring? Do you think, loyalty is a thing? Should they be loyal to a program, or how bad does it have to be before they uh switch?
Sure. So are you talking about high school or college or
Good. I mean, all levels. I mean, I would probably assume like middle school, Pop Warner, yeah, like do whatever. I don't know. What do you think?
yeah. Well, yeah, Pop Warner, like go wherever you find fit. The first place you go to might not be the best. But in terms of high school, like I'd say the same thing, man. At the end of the day, like I transferred, my brother transferred, you know, they weren't good fits for me. Sorry, they weren't a good fit for me. The first place and the place my brother was at initially wasn't a good fit for him. You got to find the place that fits for you. Now, if you're transferring just to transfer, you're transferring because you don't get along with people because that's who you are, then that's an issue. I think it's case by case for sure. Like, hey man, like if you just don't fit in with the culture, you don't enjoy being there, and the coaches don't see the value in you, and they're not trying to make you a better person, then leave, man. Like, definitely leave 100%. It's crazy what's happening in college now. So college is a little different because now there's money involved. Like I used to be a big proponent of like, yeah, loyalty, stay at your school and everything, but there's so much money, man. You gotta do what you gotta do. Like that's how it is at the end of the day. Like it's not an amateur sport anymore. It's a sport where like you make big time money. So you gotta make decisions that are best for your family, especially if you're lower income, lower socioeconomic background. You know, if a place is offering you $5 million, man, you got to take it, That's what's in the best interest of you and your family. So I'm in favor of transferring, man, if it's the right thing to do. If you're transferring 3, 4 times just to transfer, that shows that it's a you problem and not a problem with the system, you know?
Interesting. Okay. So basically, like, let your self-interest guide you. Self-interest is at the core, but
Mhm.
that self-interest has to be examined, right? Like, if you're the problem, that needs to be addressed. But if it's kind of like rational self-interest, it's like, okay, I would fit better in this program, then that would be something that you'd kind of agree with.
Mhm. Absolutely, 100%.
Okay, so it's not like It's not all about the team. It's like there's self-interest, but it's rational self-interest within the team. We're all trying to benefit here, kind of a thing.
Exactly. Because
Okay.
at the end of the day with football, I mean, with any sport really, like in order for you to be great, your team has to be great too. So like, there's still that sense of brotherhood and that sense of like team, because at the end of the day, if you're a wide receiver, you know, you need your O line to be good to protect your quarterback, and you need your quarterback to be good to be able to get you the ball. So you need to be, I don't know, a good teammate as well. So we can get you the ball, and we feel comfortable enough to get you involved. So yeah, so
What
yeah,
did what advice do you have for second stringers, right? People that are just working their ass off. They're just there. They're getting some reps here and there, but they're just not cracking that starting lineup. They're getting thrown in at the ends of games. What advice do you have for those people?
man, keep working. That's what I was. I mean, that's what I was. I was a second stringer for a long time. And the whole time, like, man, like no one sees what I'm doing. No one sees I'm putting in the extra work, that I'm the first one in the weight room, last one out, that I'm watching the extra film on huddle, that I'm the one that's out there with the guys, the one that's the leader, the one that everyone looks up to. But you just got to keep going, man. It's life. It's life. Your time will come. Your time will always come, man. Like I think God moves in mysterious ways, and there's a reason why He does that. Now, if you're not good enough, you're not good enough, right? But if you truly are better than the person ahead of you, and you've demonstrated it time after time, maybe those coaches don't see it, but someone will. And if you just keep at it, if you continuously keep at it, you will reap those rewards. You just need to be patient and understand timing. It's with anything in life. It's not just football. It's anything. If you think that you're up for that promotion and you don't get it, just keep working, man. Because if you give up, then it's just pity at that point. You just feel sorry. Don't feel sorry for yourself. So that's what I would say, because at the end of the day, like there's people that are going to care about you for sure, but like you are the one that truly knows like your true value. And if you believe that you're a starter and that you're first string, then just keep working, because you got to prove it. You got to continuously prove it, because I don't think anything is deserved. Everything's earned. So
Well said. Well said. We have 4.5 minutes left, so we'll move on to our last question. Who would you rather have on your football team? Unlimited Jabba the Hutts or one Chewbacca? And this is the within the rules of football, so you're limited to only 11 players on the field at a time.
that's this is a good question, man. This is a good question. Unlimited job of the Hutt. So man, so hey man, you can't run the ball on a bunch of Jabbas, man. You have a bunch of them on the D line, man. They're stuffing, they're two gapping right there, man. They're plugging those holes. Can't run the ball on the man. Just one Chewbacca,
Or one Chewbacca, yeah.
one Chewbacca. The thing is, man, you get Chewbacca going on the outside. He's outrunning all the Jabbas, man. And it's 11 Jabba the Hutts, right?
As many as you want. Yeah, you could do 5 unlimited.
Okay. If there's that's tough, man. I think I'd go Chewbacca. I mean, that's my guy, man, because he's gonna do anything for the team. Job is selfish, man. All he cares about is
Ah,
himself.
yeah, that's
He's gonna
right.
be tired. He's not gonna want to slug anymore, man. He's just gonna sit there. So, nah, Chewbacca is for the boys,
But
man.
no,
Chewbacca.
no, but you have unlimited. So you have 11 but you have unlimited on the sideline. So when one gets tired, you just rotate the next.
You're gonna have to call timeout to get them from point A
Uh,
to point B. No, it's a good question, man. I don't know. We need to incorporate some more Star Wars characters into it, though. I think if you have some Jawas though, like a cornerback, man, they could definitely do some damage out there. Some Tusken Raiders too. Um, yeah, but nah, Chewbacca. I honestly say out of the whole Star Wars, like 9 movies, Chewbacca is the best player. He'd be the best football player out of everybody.
we have to consider force sensitive because I was going to ask you like, oh, Yoda,
Uh,
but that's not even do the force sensitivity. Anything's possible, right?
That's true. That's true. Darth Maul would be so sick. Oh my gosh, Darth Maul would actually be so sick. Obi-Wan would be a good quarterback.
Yeah.
Obi-Wan would be a really good man. We gotta. This is a topic. This is a bigger topic, Ryan.
Yeah, and then you have Anakin's that like selfish receiver who like
um,
he's doing well for a few games, and then if he starts getting selfish, he's like, yeah.
yeah, that's true. That's true. Dang. Oh, this is interesting. Yeah, but no, to answer your initial question, definitely Chewbacca.
Mm,
'Cause, he'll play both ways.
yeah,
It doesn't matter how tired he is because he's gonna play. Jabba, you might have a couple Jabbas at D line. That's about it.
interesting. Yeah, man. Chewbacca's a dude, man.
Dude, he's a brother, man. He's brown. Hey, and he's brown too. He
He's
represents the Celt.
bright. He bright.
Hey, hey, brother, Celt pride, man. Chewbacca, baby. He's a Celt right there.
He bleeds brown, man, brother.
Hey, you already know, man. Hey, 6:15 workouts. You already know he's up bright and early at 5
No,
a.m.
man.
Pre-workout to C4.
Yeah, all right. All right. Unfortunately, our time is up. Everyone, thank you so much for joining us today. This has been the Ryan Does It podcast. If you joined us or got value from it in any way, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. It helps me with the algorithm so that I can reach more people. Until next time.